Hi, I'm Progressive Dairyman editor Walt Cooley. The first issue of our magazine in 2013 contains an article by Mark Lutke of Stewart-Peterson. It describes some of the considerations that dairy producers need to think about before delegating risk management duties or diving into it themselves. I was interested that the article suggests picking the doer of this task isn't all about brain power, IQ, or even SAT score. I've asked Mark's boss, Scott Stewart, to elaborate a bit more. Thanks for your time today, Scott.
Thanks, Walt.
So here's my first question for you, Scott. Why is skill in marketing more of a psychological challenge than an intellectual one?
You know, what really makes marketing so difficult for farmer producers is that it's completely counterintuitive to everything else they do in their business. Everything that makes a good businessman typically leads to bad marketing habits. And you're probably sitting there thinking, well, how can that be? What it really amounts to is all of us that are in business, what we do is when we have a challenge or something new that we're looking at or a new technology, we research it, we talk to people, we just do everything we can to diagnose it from top to bottom before we commit, we spend the money and we make a move. And when you do that in marketing, when you can sit down and take out a piece of paper and write down 20 reasons why the milk market should go higher, or 20 reasons why the milk market should go lower and you should hedge, that market move is already over because all of those 20 reasons are already built into the price. We're in the electronic age. All this information is just instantaneously spread throughout the land, and there's really no advantage. Almost nobody can know something that somebody else doesn't already know. So when you try to gather information and make a decision in marketing, you're basically gathering historical information that's already built into the prices. The move is over and it's too late. And so that's really doesn't work very well. And so what you actually have to do is learn to make decisions when you know nothing and when you have almost no idea what's going to happen and when there's great uncertainty. And how many people want to pull the trigger and spend a bunch of money on puts or calls for feed or something like that, or go short a futures contract when you have no idea what's going to happen? I mean, it's completely contrary to every fabric of your being to do that. But in a lot of ways, that's what marketing is all about, is looking at the uncertainty and saying, I need to manage the uncertainty.
Without naming names, describe some of the good dairy managers who do marketing well. Why do you like working with them?
It's interesting you ask what makes a good marketer. I've been hiring people to work for my business for 30 years almost now, and it's really interesting is that the people that you hire or the people that you meet, competitors, whoever it might be, that are the most outgoing, the most boisterous, the most opinionated, the most cocky, whatever it is, are oftentimes the people who are the worst people at marketing. They tend to be very outlook focused. They have very strong opinions. They stubbornly stick to those opinions. They believe they're right no matter what, despite the evidence that may very well prove that they've been wrong and maybe wrong a lot in the past. Those people that maybe are the best people at selling themselves are actually the worst people at managing your marketing or doing marketing. I've found in hiring people, the best people are the people who are oftentimes the quietest. They're terrible people to interview because they can't hardly stand up for themselves and say how good they are. But their resume always looks incredibly impressive. They just are very analytical. They've got great work experience. They've been very successful at everything they do, and they're very analytical. They're mathematical. They're unemotional. They're performance driven. They aren't ego driven. They're really driven because of their dedication to doing a good job. They're the people that I find are the best at helping people at marketing are the people that they're more like school teachers and nurses. If you do a psychological profile, and we do that for everybody that we hire, we find that their profile is more that of a teacher or a nurse than it is of a salesperson, for example. And so I find that, and even in customers, the people that are more analytical analytical and less opinionated are the ones that are actually easier to work with and are more consistent at applying strategies and not allowing the opinion of the moment or the outlook, news item of the day to influence their decisions. They're more like the more analytical person looks at the big picture, the long-term, numbers, and sticks to the plan. And that's a big part of good marketing.
As you're talking, I'm thinking of the old business adage, you can't manage what you don't measure. How do the marketers you've mentioned measure and then manage those they assign to handle their dairy's risk management?
Well, that's a really good question. When you really think about how does a producer working with a marketing advisor or having an employee on their farm help them with their marketing, possibly a feed, ingredient buyer, how do they get the most out of that person? I think really the first and foremost factor has to be trust. If you doubt that person and you don't really trust that they're always working for your benefit and they have your interest first, you're in the wrong situation. Because when you don't trust that they're really giving you the best advice, you're going to doubt it, you're going to second guess it, you're going to wait, you're not going to have the confidence to pull the trigger when you should pull it, you're going to be selling after big sell-offs, you're going to be buying after big rallies, because when that person tells you to jump and buy hard and buy fast, that feed, you might have a doubt. And that doubt can lead to stalling, and it can lead to a failed strategy, and then you're playing catch up.
Thank you for your time, Scott. I encourage you to read the article that we've discussed today. You can find a link to it in the video caption below.